Call of Duty, a name reviled by most modern gamers, it represents not only a game franchise, but also several arms of the AAA publishing world. Early releases, lack of innovation, and cut content to be used in DLC are staples of the Call of Duty series. But was this always the case? In today's video, we're going to go look back in time to the Modern Warfare trilogy, and a time where Call of Duty was not hated as much. Starting with Modern Warfare and ending with Modern Warfare 3, we're going to see the distinct transition from innovative games that changed the world of the FPS to the blatant cash cows that infect today's video game culture. As I go over these three games, I'm going to explore the two things that I think brought Call of Duty down: spectacle creep and lack of innovation. Starting with Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, the game was the first in the COD series to be set in a modern-day setting, as opposed to the previous World War II games. Released in 2007, the game was heralded as a landmark shooter for its innovation in multiplayer, and its moving to a present-day setting. You play as Soap McTavish, a new member of the SAS led by Captain Price. His storyline is about going after Zakhaev, an ultranationalist Russian who is in a civil war of sorts with Russia. The other character you play as is Sergeant Paul Jackson, who is sent into the Middle East in an attempt to stop a coup d'etat in Saudi Arabia. Both plotlines are intertwined with one another, with both main villains helping each other out. When the game was first released, the game was praised for its changes from a World War II shooter to a game set in modern times. Some of Call of Duty's best missions came from Modern Warfare, such as Crew Expendable, All Gillied Up, and Mile High Club. However, while the game story was highly regarded, what really put COD 4 on the map was the several major innovations to the multiplayer, with things like perks, customizable classes, and kill streaks. COD 4 changed the shape of the multiplayer FPS shooter. After Modern Warfare, almost every FPS game wanted to be it. The idea of having a World War II shooter died into obscurity, with World at War really being the last mainstream World War II shooter. The game won accolades from many different review sites, as well as Game of the Year nominations and awards. To many COD players, Modern Warfare is considered the pinnacle of the entire franchise, with everything going down after that. Then came Modern Warfare 2. While it's still a great game and maintained the pedigree of Call of Duty up until that point, if you looked closely enough you could start to see the signs. Missions in the campaign were becoming more and more ridiculous, such as the mission Cliffhanger. The game was starting to turn into the Hollywood blockbuster the series always wanted to be. It could be argued that the previous game had already achieved this, and you would probably be right, but now it was starting to show the signs. As well as having bigger set pieces such as Cliffhanger, the story was also, as a whole, much grander. 5 years after the nuke went off in Modern Warfare, General Shepard is sending up a task force to go find Makarov. They get a man on the inside where he partakes with Makarov, a slaughtering of civilians at a Russian airport. Makarov then kills the UC to blame it on the US to create anti-American sentiment within Russia. And then Russia invades the US. Infinity War was trying to make situations which I call moments. These are easily markable and serve as a great way to market the game. This was the bomb in Modern Warfare, and now they're trying to double down on this. In Modern Warfare 2, you could have several moments as opposed to the one or two in COD 4. This is a classic case of spectacle creep, and an aspect of narrative writing which each sequel has to top the last. Extra Credits has a great video on this. Now we have no Russian, Washington, D.C. in ruins, throwing the knife at Shepard for the finale, and the mission Cliffhanger with the snowmobile. We now discover the first thing that brought COD down: spectacle creep. We start with the nuke in a Middle Eastern takeover in COD 4, then a Russo-American war in Modern Warfare 2, and then a global World War III in Modern Warfare 3. Even after the end of the Modern Warfare franchise, the spectacle continued with Black Ops 2 in the future, then Ghost, which attempts to level out spectacle creep in a sense, but also try to raise it. That game is just weird, and it's also regarded as one of the worst Call of Duty games of all time. Then Advanced Warfare with exosuits, then Black Ops 3 with just futuristic everything, and then finally Infinite War, which goes to space. This is the definition of spectacle creep. I haven't even talked about DLC yet. Even though Modern Warfare had DLC, it was only one map pack, as opposed to the 4 we currently have now. Modern Warfare 2 kicked it up to 2 DLC packs, but it's still excusable and will probably be said that these maps weren't cut for DLC and were created post-launch. After all, 2 of the 8 maps released for DLC were just cut maps from the first map pack of Modern Warfare due to time constraints. We still haven't reached the point at which we are today. Now we move on to Modern Warfare 3. The spectacle creep is just absurd at this point. This is also the point where many COD fans, including myself, think that the series jumped the shark. All the other iterations after this weren't bad per se, they just weren't what they used to be. We now have several moments, including New York being occupied, zero-gravity plane fight, the Eiffel Tower being knocked over, a daughter and her parents dying from a terrorist attack, and a final fight scene with Makarov that ends with, spoiler alert, you hanging from a ceiling after a helicopter crash. And while this was also ridiculous, it still fell in line with the Modern Warfare lore, and it still contained the characters we loved, mainly Soap and Price. Now, what am I trying to say here with Spectacle Creep in the Modern Warfare trilogy? Well, I see the Modern Warfare trilogy as a transition period from which the COD series went from events that could theoretically take place to all-out balls-to-the-wall action. This is a transition period from COD for not only Spectacle Creep, but also the second thing I think killed COD, that I haven't even mentioned, lack of innovation. Now, the reason why I didn't speak of innovation when discussing Modern Warfare 2 is that the game didn't really need to innovate. It had only been 2 years since Modern Warfare, so only minor things really needed to be changed, and Modern Warfare 2 succeeded on that front. However, by the time we reached Modern Warfare 3, we realized that the style of COD multiplayer was not changing. While they tried adding new things, it never really felt different, and the trend continued and still is continuing for the COD games. Now, my recommendation on how to solve this? You don't. Lack of innovation isn't really the true problem, it's that we're getting sick of the COD's gameplay. COD can stay the same, we just need a break. Actually, the second problem, spectacle creep, well, this one's fairly easy. Usually the setting that needs to be changed is usually the moments revolve around the setting and plot. Setting it back in time or in modern day would be an easy way to level out spectacle creep. A great case study is Battlefield 1. This game does a wonderful job of leveling spectacle creep by moving it to a setting that still invokes awe by the player, but is manageable on the spectacle creep side of things. Now, as someone who loves the Modern Warfare trilogy and thinks they're some of the best FPS games of all time, at least Modern Warfare 1 and 2, I really wish COD would go back to this level of quality. Level out the spectacle creep, pick a new setting that doesn't take place in the future, and take out all that stuff in the newer CODs. Exosuit mechs and special abilities or whatever are not what define COD. And I know most of the team that was in charge of Modern Warfare 1 and 2 left Infinity Ward, and I know this is only a dream that will probably never come true, but I'm hoping someone at Activision is listening. Take a year or two break to let's forget the style of COD gameplay. It's not that you need to reinvent the wheel, it's that we're getting sick of the wheel. I know it's a weird analogy, but you get the point. You also need to pick a new, more interesting setting, whether that be the Korean or Vietnam War, or maybe a present-day war that isn't in the Middle East. These are the two things Call of Duty has fallen to: spectacle creep and lack of innovation. Activision needs to take a step back and look at what made the older Call of Duties great. Then maybe COD will return to what it once was.